Hi there. Today I'm reviewing the LEGO Monkey Kid Spider Queen's Arachnoid base. This set retails for $120 and comes with 1,170 pieces, which on paper is just perfect, just looking at the parts per piece ratio. Not too little, nor is it too much. But in order for me to analyze it better, let's go on to the review. Now, as I said previously in the introduction, this is set 80022 Spider Queen's Arachnoid base and retails for $120 with 1,170 pieces. Now, as someone who really doesn't like the Spider Queen as a character, this looks really good. There are two side builds in the set, both of them being super tiny, which is something I actually really like about this set. I don't like side builds, so the fact that it has maybe two polybag sized builds is great. It doesn't bump up the price point a lot, and I'm actually quite happy with the polybags. I'm going to start off with the Spider Queen Venom Crawler. It's quite similar in build as the one that was previously introduced in a Lion Guardian set, but it is very, very slightly altered. Unlike the one in the Guardian Lion, this one has a slightly different top. It comes with two of the 2x2 inverted radar dishes in trans green, which is great. It's very, very similar, as there is no other differences at all. And I've already reviewed that, so let's go on to the next side build, which is a little mini plane in the form of his staff. Now, I would have preferred it to be something else, such as Monkey King's flying Nimbus, since that's what they used in the show. Since I don't have anything in particular against it though, it's quite a simple build. It doesn't have any complex building techniques, but it doesn't really need any. For some reason, they decided to reuse the same stickers put on Monkey Kid's Cloud Jet released only 1 year ago. Overall, it's kind of a cool side build, but let's go look at the main attraction. Now, this thing is big. Like, for a $120 set, I would not expect it to be this sizable. It has a couple play features that are decent, but I don't necessarily think that they're particularly groundbreaking. One of its play features is that you can move this banner here in the middle, which will actually move either the left leg or the right leg up and down, depending on the direction you move it. It's not an insanely complex play feature, nor do I think it's a very fun play feature. I would have much preferred if it could move all of the legs, as it doesn't feel like it's really moving right now. Moving on, it has another play feature, and that is that its back can open up. I don't know if I did something wrong, but it doesn't fully close for me. However, when you open it, you can really rotate this plate to show the Spider Queen's venom, which is a cool detail. Under it, you have a prison, which I feel like is super inaccurate to how it was in the actual show, since it was a big room with webs holding it. But I completely understand that they didn't have enough space for something like that, and that would also necessitate adding more random villain minifigures in it, which would only bring the price point even higher. You can see some detailing on the sides here, and it has some of the Spider Queen's venom, and some techie things happening. Closing it back up, you can see two stickers showing the Monkey King and him powering up the mech, since he was the main power source to be able to for this huge machine to operate at full power. Unfortunately, that's it for the play features. So let's look at the build now. Starting from the top, there's a spot for you to put your Monkey King minifigure so you can say that he's trapped. Again, I already stated my mind on how the prison should be, so I don't support the way that they did it, but I guess it's better than just chucking him into a random prison. Going lower, there is a chest in light purple that if you open, there are some bones inside, which is a not so subtle reference to the Lady Bone Demon, who I'm assuming they didn't want to reveal was the main villain when you look at this set all the way back in 2022 before the show released. They have a little window to view the venom just to make sure that you're not running low on supply. I really like how they did the legs, since it's super nice to get these claw pieces, which we had also gone in metallic gray for the Lion Guardian as well, but this time it's in lime green. It honestly matches the theme super well, it pops out quite a bit, and it definitely adds a lot to the color scheme. However, it's also kind of hard to move forward. For some reason, they decided to add the wheels on sideways, resulting on it being really good at turning, but not so much going forward. It really just feels like a display piece, since it looks beautiful, but unfortunately it doesn't have much play features. It looks really, really nice though, and arguably it is in the same tier as many location-based sets that have also released. It's also quite sizable, so you're really able to feel like it's some monstrous mech that you can take over the city. Another thing I do have to say about the set is that 99% of everything you see here is probably just stickers. This is one of those sets where there's an insane amount of stickers and it's kind of overused. Granted, it's nothing compared to the amount of stickers put on other Monkie Kid sets, such as Megapolis or City of Lanterns, which both went way over 100 stickers, or closer to 200. As a result, there really isn't many printed pieces at all. And I really like the inclusion of these larger pieces used to create the sides of the mech, and I'm really glad they used these. As if they decided to brick build it, it probably wouldn't look as good, and would definitely pump up the price point of the set a pretty decent amount, which would definitely not be good. Overall, this set feels like a display piece, due to the lack of the play features. However, it is pretty big, and does look really good. But now let's look at the minifigures. So let's go into the next minifigure, which is the Spider Queen. She isn't exclusive to this set, but there is just so much budget put into this one minifigure that I'm willing to let that slide. So you come with a highly specialized, fully rubberized minifigure that I'm crown, which looks really good. And I really like how it shows 6 spider legs coming out. Her head is also dual-sided, but I don't think it's as accurate, unfortunately. The cap looks really good though. I especially like how it's supposed to represent some webs. Now, I don't really like how they decided to make the Spider Queen as a minifigure. I feel like it should have maybe been a specially molded character instead. Her torso isn't bad. Granted, they didn't have much to work with. Since she isn't exactly supposed to be a minifigure, I'm quite happy that they managed to make some printing on it that actually makes sense. She has no arm printing, but I feel like then the minifigure would feel quite overcomplicated as a result if she did have some. The next minifigure is Monkie Kid. This minifigure is exclusive to this set, but it can very easily be pieced together, as most of these items have been in a lot of Monkie Kid sets, except for the head, which is pretty cool. It's the same hair and the same leggings seen in many other sets. The torso is, well, showing a new shirt under his coat, but even that has been shown in 3 other sets as well. However, they made a new head print to show him with golden eyes, as if he's using his gold vision. And honestly, it looks really good, and I'm happy that they added something exclusive, and this face print makes total sense, since that's how he was viewing when Monkey King and the Spider Queen were battling it out. Overall, I'm glad that they added something exclusive, even if it is just a new headpiece. But let's look at the next minifigure, which is Syntax. This is the first time we get Syntax, who is exclusive, but honestly, I'm kind of sad that this version of this minifigure hasn't been included in the other 2 sets that Syntax has been included in, and they have a worse version instead. Granted, the only difference in this minifigure as compared to the other 2 versions is that it comes with these arms that come out of it. They kind of feel like Doc Ock's arms from Spider-Man, and honestly, it isn't too fitting for him. I feel like they should have used that for that one really buff Spider-Man demon that I've forgotten the name of. Moving on, has a really nice specially molded head that has him with his VR headset on. It's really specialized, so most definitely will not be used in any other characters, but it's completely fine. It comes off an extremely inaccurate face print. Like, as far as I remember, Syntax never actually had any of this on his face. But I do like the shaping of his mouth. I feel like that's quite fitting towards the type of character he was. He comes off a torso with some really nice printing, showing him with a jacket on, with an ID badge, presumably because he was helping the Spider Queen set up her own Lunar New Year's festival. But I could also be very wrong, since that's a little bit of a far stretch. One thing I like about his leggings is that they actually decided to print the hips, so that the change from the torso to the leggings isn't as obvious as I would have thought. It doesn't come with any side of the leg printing nor arm printing, but that's fine enough, I guess. Moving on, the next minifigure is the legendary Monkey King. Except he's the same exact Monkey King we have gone in many other sets, with literally 0 changes. So let's go on to the Pixie. And in what feels like literally forever, Pixie gets a new piece. That's right. He finally gets a new torso that has remained exclusive to the set, and will most definitely remain exclusive. From afar, this torso kind of looks like the same one that was used in some other sets too, such as the torso introduced in the City of Lanterns back in 2023. But it's actually quite different. It honestly has a pretty decent amount of detailing on it, and even though it isn't very specialized towards this one character, it still has parts that make it feel more like for itself, such as the mini Pixie logo on the top left. Now that we have finished up reviewing the minifigures and the sets, let's talk about the pricing. But before I do that, I have to ask you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My goal is to get 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would highly appreciate it if you do subscribe. Every subscriber does matter to me, and let's go back into the video. Overall, this set comes with 1,170 pieces, with 6 minifigures, 3 of them being technically exclusive, even though they could have been parted out very easily, and retails for $120. Honestly, for $120, it's really good. You get a pretty big build and some nice minifigures. I honestly would have been perfectly fine paying $130 or $135, but I'm glad that they didn't put it that high. I'm honestly going to rate it an 8.9 out of 10, purely because it doesn't have any fun play features or many printed pieces, but the price is really good and is quite big with some quintessential minifigures in it. And now, we have finished up with today's review of 80022 LEGO Monkey Kids Spider Queen's Arachnoid base. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and once again, if you've made it this far, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It genuinely means a lot to me, and subscribing shows that people watch my videos and hopefully take something away from it and enjoy it. That is all for this video. Goodbye.